Hey tribe, welcome back. In today's video, we're breaking down another practice question. This is RayTube practice question number 41, so stay tuned. Okay, so let's dive into it. A social worker is working with the client and believes a new policy within the agency is negatively impacting the client. What would be the best thing for the social worker to do? A, discuss the issue with the client and seek their input on how the policy is impacting them and what steps they would like to take. B, speak with the supervisor at the agency to seek guidance and explore options for addressing the negative impact of the policy. C, file a complaint against the agency. Or D, ensure the client that the policy will be addressed and continue to provide quality services. You know how we do? Pause the video, reread through the question, reread through the answer choices, select your best answer, unpause the video, and then we'll dive into the explanation. Okay. If you picked B, you are correct. Why? Okay, so let's look at A. Discuss the issue with the client and seek their input on how the policy is negatively impacting them and what steps they would like to take. This is incorrect. Why? So, first and foremost, the question stated a social worker is working with the client and believes a new policy within the agency is negatively impacting the client. That's different from the client bringing the concern to the social worker themselves. And also, relying solely on the client's input may provide only one perspective on the issue. It's important to consider a broader range of perspectives, such as agency policies, ethical considerations, and potential solutions. The client has limited control and insight regarding what can be done within the agency. If we ask the client, hey, what steps would you like to take? They could realistically reply, I don't know, right? Because it's not like they know all the ins and outs of everything. Or they could simply say, oh, let's just change it. And we may not just be able to change it. It's going to take a lot more exploring. And what would we, even if we met with the client first, we would still ultimately end up speaking with the supervisor, the managers, the higher ups, whoever's kind of controlling everything that goes on within that agency, that organization. So I don't know if A would necessarily be the best option to do out of these ones. Then we go to B, which is the correct answer. Speak with the supervisor at the agency to seek guidance and explore options for addressing the negative impact of the policy. This is correct. Why? So, this is the best option. Speaking with the supervisor about the negative impact a policy is having on a client will bring awareness to the issue that the supervisor and agency may not have been aware of. There's a chance it could be addressed relatively quickly. And how about if that is the case, right? If we go to the supervisor, hey, when meeting with the client, we believe that, this policy that we implemented is actually negatively impacting them, right? How about the supervisor is actually able to correct that relatively quickly? So now we're not even burdening the client or clients, if it's, multiple people being affected by it, with that issue, that concern at all. And we can discuss it, which brings us to the next bullet point. This will allow the agency a chance to comb through other policies for possible issues to see if they are unintentionally impacting the client in a negative way. Notice with this one, right? Speak with the supervisor at the agency to seek guidance and explore options for addressing the negative impact of the policy. You're meeting with your team. You're meeting with your team and saying, hey, we want to address this issue for the well being of the client. We're not just kind of saying like, okay, let's put it, in the client's hands. And we might be like, Ray, what about self-determination and everything? But within this particular setting, the client, and even ourselves for that matter, are limited. That's why we're bringing it to the quote unquote powers that be at the agency to see if anything can be done about it first, which is making it the overall best option. When we look at C, file a complaint against the agency, this is incorrect. Why? Filing a complaint without attempting to discuss it with someone within the agency first may not be the best or most effective approach. This could also be viewed as a last resort option to escalate the matter if the agency is ignoring or just simply not responding to the issue. And also, Even when we think about the code of ethics, where, how do we address issues when it comes to colleagues? We talk with them first. And I know this isn't an issue saying, a colleague is showing up to work impaired or doing something unethical or anything like that. But it still has the same kind of premise where it's like, wait a second, if something's going on, before we escalate the situation, go to our supervisor or go to the board or something like that, let's talk with the colleague first. Let's see if this issue can be addressed, can be rectified in an appropriate manner first before escalating things. And it kind of has the same principles with this situation as well. And that brings us to D: ensure the client that the policy will be addressed and continue to provide quality services. This is incorrect. Why? Is this really the best approach? This is more so something to tell the client after a social worker has spoken to the powers that be within the agency and the social worker is providing the client with a follow up regarding the issue. Because again, notice how with A, B, and C, and D, of course, it all leads back to, hey, we have to talk with someone, aka the supervisor in this situation, to say, like, hey, let's bring awareness to the situation. We're not saying it's being done on purpose with malicious intent or anything. We're just bringing it to your awareness to see if anything can be done. Because most likely, if it's impacting this client, there's a chance that it could be impacting another client. And something else to keep in mind: when these policies are developed, it's not like everything is, we have a heavy consideration of all the different factors, right? Sometimes policies are made with good intention, but at the time we don't think about, like, oh, wait a second, it can look and sound good, right? A policy, but then we didn't think about the repercussions it could have for this client regarding this situation. So again, it's not like it's necessarily being done with malice or ill intent or anything like that. And being able to bring it to the supervisor in this scenario, the powers that be, and say, like, hey, we might want to take another look at this. And it gives us a chance to comb through any other policies that could possibly have the same negative impact unintentionally. All right, tribe, that's it for today's video. Again, that was RayTube practice question number 41. And again, you know what I say, doing at least 2 practice questions a day helps keep the exam anxiety at bay. And I highly encourage you doing at least 1 practice exam a month. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell a social work friend, because we don't want to be licensed by ourselves. All right, tribe, I'll see you next video.